Hello. Please hit like button and subscribe my channel. Also press bell icon for future video notifications. Thanks.
Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, flighted outside off, Jason Roy pushes this to cover for no run. Taijul Islam to Jos Buttler, tossed up in middle, Jos Buttler attempts the lap sweep and connects well as he gets 3 runs here. Taijul Islam to Jos Buttler, 4. Poor fielding effort costs Bangladesh a boundary here. Fuller and in middle, Jos Buttler reverse sweeps this wide of point FA boundary. Taijul Islam to Jos Buttler, Fuller 1 around middle, Jos Buttler attempts a lap sweep but fails to get a clean connection. Taijul Islam to Jos Buttler, tossed up outside off, Jos Buttler strides forward and defends this. The skipper of England, Jos Buttler comes out to the middle now. Taijul Islam to James Vince, out. Taken. Tossed up outside off, Vince looks to play this down to long off for a single but gets an outside edge that lands in the hands of the wicket-keeper Mustafizur Rahman. Struggle for James Vince ends with this. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, shortish and on middle, James Vince flicks it off the back foot through square leg for one more. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, flighted, full and on middle, James Vince tucks it towards short mid-wicket. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, short again and on middle, Jason Roy forces it towards long on for 1. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, a bit short and on leg, James Vince nudges it in front of square leg and scampers across for a run. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, quicker, full and on middle, James Vince knocks it back to the bowler. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, tossed up, full and on middle, Jason Roy reverse sweeps it towards deep point for a single. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, short and on off, Jason Roy cuts it through point for a single. Don't miss anything. Subscribe to our newsletter and get all the stories that matter delivered to your inbox. Invalid id. Please enter again. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, flied and on off, Jason Roy skips down the track to defend, but misses and gets hit on the pads. There is an appeal for LBW, but turned down. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, quicker, full and on middle, Jason Roy blocks it on the front foot. Taijul Islam to James Vince, floated and on off, James Vince uses his feet and forces it towards long off for a run. Taijul Islam to James Vince, short and on off, James Vince punches it towards point. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, tossed up, full and on off, Jason Roy drives it through covers for a single. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, fires this one full and on middle, James Vince works it towards short mid-wicket. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, slower through the air, on middle, turning into the leg side, James Vince looks to defend, but gets leading edge along the ground back towards the bowler. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, flighted, short and on leg, James Vince misses his flick and the ball goes off his pads towards short fine leg. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, a bit short and on leg, James Vince nudges it towards short fine leg. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, floated, full and on middle, Jason Roy goes down and connects his sweep this time towards deep square leg for a run. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, tossed up, full and on off, Jason Roy goes for the sweep, but misses. Taijul Islam to James Vince, slower through the air, on off, turns away again, James Vince is once again beaten on the outside edge. Taijul Islam to James Vince, gives this one some air, on middle, James Vince blocks it out on the front foot. Taijul Islam to James Vince, tossed up, full and on off, turns away sharply, James Vince gets beaten on the outside edge as he tries to defend. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, flighted, full and on off, Jason Roy drives it through covers for another run. Jason Roy has batted fine today and has played risk-free strokes at a blistering pace. He looks set for a big one today. Taijul Islam to James Vince, short and on middle, James Vince nudges it towards backward square leg for a run. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, flatter, full and on middle, Jason Roy drives it towards long on for a single. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, floated, full and on middle, Jason Roy sweeps it towards deep square leg for 1. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, slower through the air, on off, Jason Roy prods forward to defend, but misses and gets hit on the pads as the ball goes nowhere. Mahidi Hassan to James Vince, a bit short and on off, James Vince stays back and pushes it towards cover point for a single and gets off the mark. Drinks have been taken at the stroke of the second wicket. England has had a good start in this game so far. Jason Roy has looked at ease and looks like have shifted a gear or two in the last few overs. The wicket of Dodd Malan will surely tighten things in the middle for Bangladesh. James Vince walks out in the middle to join Jason Roy. Mahidi Hassan to Dodd Malan, out. Plum in front. Mahidi Hassan strikes. Dodd Malan goes back to the hut for a low score in this game. Mahidi Hassan bowls this flatter and quicker, on middle and leg, grips and turns away a bit. Dodd Malan is stuck on the crease and tries to fend it away, but plays down the wrong line and gets wrapped on his pads right in front of the stumps. There is a huge appeal for LBW, and Mahidi is already celebrating while appealing. The dreaded finger goes up and England lose their second wicket. Mahidi Hassan to Jason Roy, tossed up, full and on middle, Jason Roy sweeps it towards deep square leg for a single. Mahidi Hassan to Dodd Malan, risky single. This is floated, short and on off, Dodd Malan forces it towards covers and sets off for the run. The fielder misses his shy at the bowler's end and Malan gets home safe. Mahidi Hassan comes into the attack. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, 4. 2 in a row. This is flatter, full and on middle, Jason Roy goes down and reverse sweeps it towards the third man fence for another boundary. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, 4. Nice use of the feet. This is tossed up, on off, Jason Roy uses his feet and lofts it, his bottom hand comes off as he con-checks, but it still goes well over mid-on for a boundary. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, flatter, full and on middle, Jason Roy drives it towards mid-on. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, quicker, full and on middle, Jason Roy it towards mid-on. Half century for Jason Roy. The most amazing part is how quickly he scores his runs. He looks all set to score big today. Taijul Islam to Jason Roy, 50 for Roy. This has been an excellent knock after struggling initially. This is tossed up, full and on off, Jason Roy uses his feet and chips it wide of sweeper covers for a brace. Taijul Islam to Dodd Malan, floated, full and on middle, Dodd Malan drills it towards long on for a single. Taijul Islam to Dodd Malan, 5 wides. This is poor from Taijul Islam. He darts this one full and around leg, Dodd Malan misses his flick, and the keeper fails to stop it as well and the ball races towards the fine leg fence for a boundary. Mustafizur Rahman to Jason Roy, 4. Up and over. Mustafizur Rahman bowls another slower delivery, full and on off, Jason Roy waits for it this time and lifts it way over mid-off for a boundary. Mustafizur Rahman to Dodd Malan, back of a length and outside off, Dodd Malan cuts it towards deep point for a run. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more sports updates.